Hello, I'm Casey Laughman, Editor-in-Chief of Food Engineering. The food and beverage industry has faced any number of challenges over the last few years, and the COVID-19 pandemic only exacerbated those challenges. I had the opportunity to speak with PerkinElmer's Greg Sears, Vice President and General Manager, Food Business Unit and Mass Spectrometry. We discussed how the company is helping its customers implement more hands-off automated sampling technologies to help meet the challenges that they are facing, both those related to the pandemic and those that come up in the course of day-to-day operations. Obviously, the COVID-19 pandemic has been top of mind for food and beverage processors over the last year, as it has been for everybody in all aspects of life. But I wanted to get some perspective on the challenges that the food and beverage industry faces that are not related to COVID-19, and Greg weighed in on those.
It's always better, faster, cheaper in any industry. That's what it's all about. And we have a global dynamic. The population continues to grow. The earth is not getting any bigger, so everyone has to be more productive throughout the value stream. But the consumer base still has an expectation that they can afford their food that they eat and that it's safe. So given that primary demand from the consumers, feeding human beings and our society with good product, we then have an obligation to go upstream. And the nice thing about PerkinElmer, the portfolio that we have, is that we have solutions throughout that value stream, and our customers are demanding automation. They want more tests per labor hour. They want the test to be cheaper or less expensive, I should say. And the tests need to be completely compliant with whatever regulatory or industry accreditations there are, AOAC, ISO, what have you, AFNOR. So it has to be locally relevant, globally available, but also fit for purpose for that particular use case that either our food processor customer has or our contract lab customer has. And contract labs, of course, for certain regions include government entities or quasi-government entities that play a critical role in ensuring a safe food supply.
The food and beverage industry has often lagged behind others when it comes to automation, but it's finally starting to catch up. PerkinElmer is offering automated solutions for its customers to help them meet some of the challenges they face in their day-to-day operations, and Greg shared some insight on those.
I'll give you a couple of examples. And just for clarity, our customers are actually asking for lower costs and the ability to produce more with whether it's the labor base or the fixed asset base that they have. We believe that automation and workflow software that's oriented for that workflow is the key. So as an example, for grain harvesting time in each region, so for the Americas, the harvest is coming soon. There are customers, the major grain processors, who have a need for a specific period of time, lots of grain to be processed. And what they're looking for is not to have all of the labor costs associated with that. So they look to us for automated ELISA testing using our immunoassay technology from our bio portfolio, or Amazing, where we're combining the automation platform from one business unit within food with the immunoassay capability with the other, and software from a third. And we're bringing these solutions for automated mycotoxin testing globally. Even this year, we're doing that.
As many of you are well aware, manual testing procedures take a long time. Being able to automate some of those can lead to big time savings, as Greg explains.
The time adds up, but more interestingly, I'll give you another example in our cannabis workflow, for example, but it even takes place in the mycotoxin for other food matrices. The sample preparation, the home brewing, customers have to procure from literally dozens of different suppliers in order to be able to prepare the sample for subsequent testing and analysis. So what we're doing is we're creating a portfolio of reagent kits that we can say, if you want to test for pesticides in cannabis, here's a already prepared, already measured, already certified by ISO kit of standards and calibrants that are needed to prepare that sample. Then we take that capability. Again, we've made it more efficient, not only from a cost per sample basis, but also a more environmentally friendly basis, because there's less waste of that stream. We then put it on our Janus automation for all the automated, the vortexing, et cetera, that needs to be handled. Then we take that sample and put it into our LCMS system, the QSite organic mass spec, including the overarching cloud-based software that follows that sample from entry point to I have an answer point. That's what our customers are valuing, and that's what they're really responding to when they speak to us. And that's what we're really excited about moving forward. So in all of these different places, contract labs, grain processors, silos, throughout this midstream space, we have different ways to employ our automation solutions at PerkinElmer.
Of course, the biggest challenge food and beverage manufacturers have faced over the last year is the COVID-19 pandemic and how it has affected everything they do. Greg shared some insights on how the company has responded to the COVID-19 pandemic and is helping its customers do the same.
I mean, COVID has changed everything. So if let's just follow the journey of new technology acquisition from a customer. Well, 2 years ago, if I'm interested and I have all these problems that we've spoken about, I could pick up the phone and or fly to a demo center or a center of excellence from my suppliers without any question, without any problem. And it would take me some time to get there, but I could do it. Now the customer has significant challenges in understanding what are the solutions available. Most of the exploration is now digital, and customers are starting to prefer that. Everyone has mobile devices. We expect now to be able to have instant access to information. So the first challenge is, how do we enable the customer to understand that we have these solutions? So we spent a significant amount of time, effort, and energy to make sure that the customers can see us. So when they're looking for these solutions, we need to be in these digital places that they are looking for. The second piece is, now that I understand what I want, how do I make sure that I've done all the verification and validation work that's necessary to get to the first productive sample? So the time that a customer can start to employ this asset in their work stream. PerkinElmer is in a unique position, a great position, because we have application scientists globally deployed who can literally help the customer develop the method so that the customer can then go through their own verification and validation process. So we're providing method guidelines that are very well prescribed and proven for the customer specific food matrix. And that's very important. So we're taking this idea that application notes are okay, but really driving the point that we have the capability to do it. So the customers are looking to suppliers like PerkinElmer to take that thought leadership position, but then actualize it in their lab. And it's all of what we have is our advantage, is that although COVID has changed everything, it's made that level of support from a supplier like PerkinElmer even more important to the customer, because their labor resources, to your point, are precious, and they have to make sure that their people are doing absolutely the most critical aspects. And that leaves an opportunity for suppliers like PerkinElmer to become extensions of our customers' business, not just a vendor selling them a piece of equipment.
The COVID-19 pandemic has forced food and beverage manufacturers, as well as their vendors and suppliers, to adapt in a number of different ways. Interestingly enough, they are finding that some of the solutions that they came up with are actually a better way of doing things. Greg shared some insights on what the company has learned from the COVID-19 pandemic and how it will change things for them going forward.
One of the unintended consequences that turns out to be a benefit for us is that it has forced us to be more crisp and concise and targeted in our messages and our messaging to the customer. We have to make sure that we really understand what are the pain points. We have to understand which words they're using to articulate or describe or search for those pain points. So I think the one thing that survives COVID is this incredible appreciation and respect for understanding the voice of customer and making sure that, as we frame it, that we always aspire to greater, deeper, broader customer intimacy with the customers we're trying to serve. I think it's been a fantastic lesson for us, but I think this ability this ability to more effectively listen actively to our customers, to understand their pain points, has been I think collectively a skill that the food segment team at PerkinElmer has improved upon.
Please join me in thanking PerkinElmer's Greg Sears, Vice President and General Manager, Food Business Unit and Mass Spectrometry, for sharing his insights on the food and beverage manufacturing industry, where it is right now, and where it is going. I'm Casey Laughman, Editor-in-Chief of Food Engineering, and thank you for joining us.